Our focus was on those beneficiaries who received the 1 million Uganda shillings and the impact of investment on their in-house income and lives. The narrative started with Muzei Nyende Rashid in Namwangu village, Ibako in Bugweri district, who expressed appreciation to the initiators of the PDM program. Rashid received 1 million shillings and invested it in dairy farming. To him, upon receiving the 1 million, had to sell other properties he owns to make a top-up of 2 million shillings. This was the capital he used to buy one dairy cow. While speaking in an interview, says life has since changed.
Nali straight way forward nganja kugula nte ya bukaire bubiri era mombeero oti neyo ente eno najaya era yasobola okuboneka nga esobola okulinda yazaala ena nesooka era kabiri mu bwangu n'embiro yabanga bwoyidinga oboligi dandaba bulungi terwawo kuwaka kabiri yasobola okuboneka nga egakeera ku ssaawa ya butimperani n'enana ibiri.
Out of the sold milk, Nyende is capable of meeting his financial requirements.
Sebo ensonga yenina okusookera ku nda kusookera ku y'amata. Kuba nalinga ntawaana okunoonya akasente aka buli lunaku. Wabula ku bwire buno ente yange eva amata eva liita 12. Peraano wemba nga ntunza amata ago mu freeze esooka. Kuyagaananga buli liita ndigitundanga esiringi 12,000. Ago obwavumba mbubinze ng'agalaga igulo nsobola okuboneka nga ndekawo ku famire yona yabanga eba bulungi ate era nasobola okuwongera ku kabiri kwinkamu ey'okuyingiza.
Muzei Nyende is not the only beneficiary here. Namaganda Nusufa is another Pdm beneficiary who invested her 1 million shillings into goat rearing. To Namaganda, goat rearing was the best option because it's easy to manage. When the goats business started making fortunes for Namaganda, she also invested it in a salon business as a side hustle to support her goats business.
PDM ereda government eneri kwera ne bazaino olokufuna sente edo nganafuna akaire kalamba akesente esente edo nasobola okugula nagula mu embuzi eyo nagigula banga tono yazaala obwana yampa obwana busatu era obwana obwo nina bombwaya mungabwe nafuna akakaire nagula ku embuzi nataako ni musaluni utakasente ke manfuniye ku musaluni sobola okuyidana okufuna obwezina ndaba ku embuzi kuba olwisidirwala omusuuda daina n'okudifuwa kwa idagala kale nabanga ndi kutambuza nti akasende ntola kumule n'ataakumule.
Day 2 in Bugweri ended with Mugoya Juma, a resident of Busesa Town Council, who chose to invest in fish farming. Mugoya says he used 600,000 Uganda shillings to stock 2,000 fingerlings and the balance was reserved for feeding. However, upon harvest, Mugoya's balance sheet showed he had recouped 2,170,000 in profits. He recounts the wise decision he took to make this investment.
Kwebaza government yeno kubanze mu myaka ejjange tubonanga ku government eyamba muntu wawansi kandi mutegeera nti etuukana okumwa capital nono olusoso kubona nze nebaza government yeno okungemera ko yangemerako era ndi kusaba bongeza okusinza project wodi bweine abantu bayide begere kunze ndidi nti nza akakaleke bampa omwaka gujjo kuwako gano oli kubona gano ngafune obukaire kweyongerayo obukaire abiri okweyongerayo abaana bange bakusoma tibali kugobe wange bwali koze ki sente dili kunjira nzira ibanda lyona nti bali kumandana kusukuba ibanda lye nalyo neryo government lyampa lye ndidi nti saa ni yenda saa weno na savinga diliwo neche byange sebo.
Champa Lubanga, the district commercial officer for Bugweri, says the program is moving well in the district as majority of beneficiaries who got the money have invested it well. However, Lubanga was quick to note that in some areas where PDM beneficiaries diverted the money for other things, the program has failed to achieve its set purpose.
When you look at what is going on right now, there is a big change when you compare it with the first money which we got. The first money, honestly, was diverted. Most people, I think 60% of the people who got the money, did not do the right thing. But the next phase, after several trainings with the production department, training them about Chivaro, about enterprise selection, We train them about, saving. Things are really changing, and we believe, Your Excellency, we shall not shame you in Bugweri.
In Bugweri district, over 8,777 beneficiaries received the money totaling to 8.8 billion shillings, which was disbursed to support beneficiaries with right projects. In Iganga district, we arrived at Masaba village, Luau parish, Bulamaji sub-county, where we found Bavinga Rogers, aged 26 years, who invested Pdm money in poultry farming. Rogers, who started with 100 chicks, expanded to 200 and now is able to generate 33,000 shillings as a profit after selling eggs.
Nava wansi no wenalindi nebonanga nanina kwa madala okusinzira wenalindi nebonanga sawa da kutenfuna kwa kasenta ko bulideire kubanga bina kunfuna ku mutwalo mulala manya afuna ku mitwalo 3 ne 13 era nenyumirize ino nsaba ni President Museveni anongere kwa kasente ntutumuke ku kusinzi mfe kwano weni nina kwa madala gandi mbenga sobola okusupplyinga ku etulediwere ekikumi plus mu Iganga district.
From Masaba village we crossed over to Nawanyinji sub-county. Here we come across Baryedusa Dan, who invested in piggery rearing. Dan used 600,000 Uganda shillings, part of Pdm money, and bought one female pig which had been mounted, and later added on another one at 250,000 shillings, and the rest of the money was spent on feeding and treatment. According to Dan, he currently owns 62 pigs after selling some to pay school fees for his children. From here we cross over to Chigulu North in the village of Kabira, where we found other 2 successful Pdm beneficiaries, Kasimu Mwesigwa and Hindu Kaziwa. Like Dan, they also invested in poultry farming.
Senda parishimodo nadigulamu enkoko 10 na 10 nagula kwemere nagula ku nebya igala enumba ye dairamu tano lyensuiso lyendi nali esoka lyene government okumana ife nganzo omulema ate ndi mukaire okumpa sente nsobola okwekulankulane mbwe mbwanvu nsobola okuwerera abaana ngoyo eriyo nali mu senior 3 iyo n'owundi ali mu senior 4 idinda.
The production officer for Iganga district, who also doubles as the Pdm focal person, Ogaza Gozani, says Iganga district received 70% of the money promised. Here, many beneficiaries invested their money in rightful projects.
Of that training, at least we are now seeing the fruits, because farmers have now started practicing the real business. So they are now shifting from a subsistence economy to a money economy. I gave you an example of those who have already sold the birds, the piglets, the tomatoes. They are now in the money economy. And we hope with time farmers will benefit more. When you look at this program, you compare it with other programs, there is some slight difference.
Despite the successful stories talked about here, these farmers, they had challenges to point out hindering the program.
And the challenge we are having is the diversion from the expected enterprise which was registered, and they go on again implementing other very different enterprises. Then there are those ones actually who eat the money. They are there. You go to him, he says, President Yatua, and they eat the money.
Findings of our investigations on the Pdm success stories indicate that majority of town occupants of all towns in the Busoga region mismanaged the finances, while the rest focused on investing the money to quick-gain businesses, which later didn't yield out well. The program, on the other hand, has been affected with political interference, which has resulted in 2 misleading messages against the given out support from government. However, those doing well in the Pdm program majorly focused on agriculture projects, and they are not complaining. Yusuf Obo compiled this report.